Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of the Brian Colletto Show, streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube by way of Restream. And if this should ever be repurposed to other platforms, wherever you may listen to podcasts, I'm your host, Brian Colletto. And just as a little side note as well, that what I share here is just for information purposes. This is not professional advice. This is just me sharing a story, whether it's personal experience or something else I've heard. So, in today's autism segment, I am going to talk about something I heard on a podcast last week. Um, and I heard something about the phrase should be. And when I was listening to this podcast, it made sense to me. Like from a podcast about autism, that is. And it made sense that, you should be this, or we shouldn't have to ex- repeat this to you, shouldn't have to explain this to you, that sort of thing. And it made me think of, and I'm like, it all makes sense. I'm like, and it made me reflect. I'm like, this is part of why sometimes I feel triggered into feeling down or feeling emotion at home, because I was told those kinds of things as a kid. Now, this is not to um, dismantle anybody. This is just from my experience and realizing that there is a better way to help somebody understand and to get through to the other side of a conflict. And also because uh, people on the autism spectrum are unique, and sometimes what quote unquote should be isn't, because the because somebody did something a certain way before, or showcased a capability in something before, but may not be showing it in that moment, or maybe something evolved for them. Um, those kinds of things are what we need to keep in mind. Sometimes it, it can be easy for parents to feel like they know their child down to a science, and that's not always the case. Now, I think most of us would say that our parents know, or if we don't have parents anymore, knew us best. But it doesn't mean that they know exactly what you need in that moment all the time. So I I give kudos to the podcast that I listened to about this, and it's something that I will reflect on um, as I go on through life. Now, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, you may have noticed that I left out the events tab, or the events part that I usually write in the post about events I attended over the past week. That's because I really didn't attend much over the past week. I only attended the final edition of the East Brunswick Summer Market for this year. and that was on this past Sunday, the first Sunday of August, um, which was fun. Um, although not as crowded as the other two, but understandable, and it was good. I see I've got two people viewing this. Um, Thank you. This show is very short today. Um, I will also say in something that I didn't write in show notes. I will say that reflecting on a conversation from that summer market yesterday, I will say that for those that might view me on Instagram, I did put out a story about someone who had recently blocked me, and I I want to say that I do tend to be a big critic of myself, um, and as I've said in those stories, I've been blocked more times than I would like to admit. Um, but sometimes people just don't fully understand me and what my intention is, and sometimes it the conversation just doesn't go the way that I had intended for it to go, and so, but it's tough to accept sometimes that sometimes people just don't see you the way you see them, and maybe sometimes they are just not ready to fully receive um, what I bring to the table, and I have to accept that. So, um, but I thank the people who dearly support me. So that's what I have for this week's edition of my show. However much you listen to this, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to be back sometime next week. And until the next time I come on, I send you all love, light, blessings, and peace.